have patience. I'm definitely never going to use this method again. All is good. I'm going to skip through every time I pause it. It does not give me the ability to change the slides. So I'm going to click through. I apologize for the inconvenience, but I did see that the previous video did end up playing with the mother-led breathing, which is so awesome. I'm really happy that that ended up playing. And then the last bit of the mother direct breathing, right? The last bit of the video from this slide and on ended up getting cut off and not capturing the audio or the slides or anything. So we're just gonna jump right in. So let's talk about practice and preparation to build positive anticipation. I had mentioned that my favorite time was to practice at bed because you could just practice your breathing techniques and a visualization and you fall asleep to it, right? And my favorite approach in that is, your body kind of gets in tune with thinking, oh, hey, when we start to do this, then that means that it's time for bed. So then we're going to go to sleep. And therefore, you're that much more likely to fall asleep in your labor. And I have with my last two births. So I'm excited for this one. So if you have played around with it, with the time frames that maybe fit you the best, when do you feel you can add practice to your daily routine, right? When are you able to consistently practice? Do you maybe consistently have like a lunchtime break, or just sometimes there's consistent areas in your day that you can add in a quick little practice, and then you're going to be that much more likely to get as close as possible to your birth vision, right? So it's amazing. But so remember all the techniques, right? The remembering the education aspect where we have our influences, and then we have our physiology and the psychophysical association. But applying all the techniques is so vital to conditioning our mind and body to relax for birth, right? With positive anticipation. So next class, we're going to do more breathing, and we're going to do you're going to want to practice all of these, right? Because you have the audio code for the rainbow relaxation. So you already have that from the previous email. So practice all of these, the breathing techniques, right? The progressive relaxation. And I will add a PDF of the progressive relaxation, so you can refer to that in the email. The rainbow relaxation, when you listen to it, pick one or two colors, and then the birth companions reading, because we went over all of those. Having a color to refer to really helps for your deepening, because you can almost visualize intently on that color, and it can help anchor you down, right? So just something to remember. Releasing limiting thoughts, that's what I was about to mention, where next class we're going to do a deep session on releasing limiting thoughts or fear, right? We're going to do like a fear release, where we're going to go into safe space in your mind's eye, and we're going to just really get rid of things that are not for us, that are not, good for our state of mind or well-being. And so it'll be good. It'll be good. It's a bit of a longer one, but it's so worth it. It's so calming. It's so relaxing. It's really quite beautiful. So on this note, take a moment right throughout the week and start to think about things that come up pretty consistently, fears about birth or stresses in life, anything that kind of implies negativity in your internal homeostasis, right? Anything that inflicts uh, the fight or flight. There's, different levels, if you will, that you can get into, and some are just minute, and some get you like kind of into full blown like fight or flight. But anything that makes you feel stressed or worried or afraid about birth or just in life, think about it. And then when it comes time to class, then you'll be ready and focused on what really is um, just going to be the heaviest on your subconscious, and we can go from there. Birth preferences. Um, so think about not only what you want it to look like around you, right? But instinctively, what do your birth preferences do they need to look like for you? And so in the book as well as the spiral book, I will also attach a PDF that you can review. And then in the spiral book, you'll be able to highlight, notate, whatever you want. As far as your birth preferences, and we can go over each and every one of them, and you can let me know any questions that you have. But an instinctive, gentle, and physiological birth, that is ultimately what a hypnobirthing birth is, right? So that means it'll look different for everyone, but if it's instinctive for you, if it's gentle for you, and it's physiological where you feel so empowered, then it's a hypnobirthing birth, right? It's amazing. Informed consent is a human right. There's quite a bit of information that is obscured or not fully shared once you are in your birthing environment, and so therefore that's where it can be really helpful to have an experienced doula, or someone who has given birth before and just can help you be educated on terminology, etc., which we go over a lot in here. And we'll go over in more detail in the next class. Preparing your body for healthy birthing, right? This will also be in the book on page 179. So we've talked about how your psychology and your physical state has an effect on your birth and you and baby, right? Well, what you eat is also a direct effect on your body, your baby, and your birth. It's the energy storage that you have, and it's that preparation, right? It's that preparation aspect. Um, um, just making sure I'm going through my notes so I don't leave anything out for you. So I don't need to add anything really, really crazy, but besides, when it comes to your food, it's, you're thinking about preparing for, um, your big race or a marathon, because it's, quite literally with a caloric expenditure and just energy expenditure, right? Um, that is what a birth is. No matter how calm it is, no matter how gentle it is, our body is still working so intricately, communicating on all levels to birth baby, and it's so amazing. So, what you eat is like preparing for a marathon is going to really help you or hinder you. And I can attest to that because I have done both. I've eaten very clean and prepared in all the ways, and my postpartum recovery was my birth was super energized, and my postpartum recovery was amazing. And then when I was not being careful about what there I go again. I must be talking too much. Um, but when I wasn't intentional about what I ate or careful about what I ate, just eating really processed, I was super tired. I was super tired during birth and postpartum. So nutrition, water, you're gonna, of course, you're already kind of compensating for baby needing more water as well because your amniotic fluid is being replaced. Your blood volume goes up. So there's so many things that need added water to create those fluids. So ideally, and you're consuming uh, just more water. But if you're having a hard time with that, um, what a lot of providers say, or doctors and nutritionists say, is if you get to bedtime and you feel like you have to chug like 3 cups of water, you are dehydrated and it's like you waited too long. But if you don't feel like that at nighttime, then you kept it pretty consistent, and that's great. um, Eat the rainbow, right? Fibrous foods. um, There are, I will list there's a lot of simple ones that I will just mention quickly because it's just very simple. But then I will go through and actually list off the fish to avoid or that you can eat because it's such a myth that you can't eat fish while you're pregnant. But okay, so one, try to shop organic foods. Um, eliminate all unnecessary like processed fats, like fast food, right? Fast food fats. Um, like coconut oil is good and everything. Salt to taste, Celtic salt, Himalayan salt, or pink salt, um, or sea salt. Those are better than the typical table salt because table salt that is very processed, it actually does not help you hydrate, whereas the other natural salts help your cells actually absorb the water and maintain their hydration. Consume lots of protein, of course, at least 1 gram of protein per kilo of body weight. And that goes up to at least 1.1 gram of protein per kilo when you are breastfeeding, even so. um, Smoothies, yogurts. There's so many different great ways to just get these in. Sources of protein, plant-based is like coconut, yogurt, chickpeas, quinoa, tofu, tempeh, brown rice, buckwheat, legumes, lentils, beans, nuts. Most vegetables actually already have protein in them, which is really interesting. Um, And then other source of protein, right, is where it's, eggs, dairy, and meat. Um, Let me go through now. I mentioned eat the rainbow, um, but eating the rainbow of the rainbow of foods. Each color essentially represents different groups of like nutrients, like vitamins and minerals and everything. So that's why they say like diversify your palate or what you're eating so that you're getting all of the nutrients that you possibly need. Go for the greens because that'll just help your not only with the fiber with your digestion, but your um, jeepers cats, your gut microbiome. Sorry, that took me a moment. Um, Opt for the orange colors, right? They have it has those vital like fibers and nutrients that specifically are really great for your pregnancy. Delve into like the fruits and berries. So good with antioxidants and help level out your blood sugar levels. Um, if you it helps if you eat some like nuts. It'll help even more, just like balance everything out if you're a bit sensitive to the sugars. Fish oil, right? Uh, your prenatal usually has omegas in it, and that's why it's funny that a lot of people think that you can't eat fish when omegas, like we really need the omegas. It's so good for our brains, our bodies, and especially babies' brain development, right? Um, so they get concerned about like the mercury and the chemicals found in fish. So that is why you should go more so for the wild caught instead of farmed. And they say to limit it to about 150 grams per week. But the fish to limit, right, to that 150 per week, but that you can eat, right, is barramundi, gemfish, ling, fresh bluefin, albacore tuna, halibut, mahi-mahi, sea bass. Uh, that's considered safe. Um, and then fish that is completely considered safe is blue mackerel, John Dory, ocean trout, sardines, anchovy, herring, Atlantic salmon, blue-eyed cod, bream, flathead, mullet, snapper, and whiting. Uh, I will, uh, in your email, I will have a link to a food standard guide that will give you more information about the fish and just like the levels of, what they contain. Um, but yeah, it's actually really good for you to be eating fish while you're pregnant. Seeds, grains, and nuts. Um, they're really good healthy fats, but they have a really dense nutritional profile. So they're they're really good, um, especially when you're breastfeeding. It's just really helps up your healthy fats and everything. Um, Good liquids other than water, you have, organic herbal teas, smoothies, fruit juices. Um, they don't replace the need for water, but it's, there are other options. Not that they don't have water in them, but you just want to have that good combination. Herbal teas that are good is chamomile, lemon balm, ginger, raspberry leaf. Uh, oh, And then from the second trimester onwards, you might want to really seldomly or stop drinking like peppermint tea because it can have an effect on your breast milk, just possibly. So you just want to avoid that, as well as carbonated drinks, diet drinks, and energy drinks, caffeine. See, these ones are like, you know, um, pretty pretty simple to understand, and alcohol. Wipe out the whites, meaning avoid refined sugar or the bleached flour, white potatoes, white baked goods. Go for like the whole grains. Just avoid the highly processed foods. Yeah, and that's about it. If you have any questions on that, let me know. But that is it on that one. And then toning your body. There is walking. It's being aware of your posture, your pelvic rock, toning your legs and your inner thighs, because your legs are very, very, very involved in your birth. And so if you just work on doing some assisted squats and stuff like that, just like body weight. It'll be really, really good for birthing time. Doing the leaping frog position, and these are all in the book as well, starting off on page 187, and then it continues from there. Um, Besides the leaping frog position, where I can show you right in our next class, but I can't show you this one. I can show you the motion, but it's a U shape, right, on your perineum with more mineral oil, whatever you prefer. But it's a pelvic floor uh, um, perineal massage, and then you have pelvic floor exercises or Kegels, and those are really good for helping to prepare your perineum to be receive a message where whenever you whenever it senses pressure, it knows to relax, and it helps with the elasticity, and just reduces your chance of tearing and stuff like that. But if you remain relaxed and breathe, then that's already super, super low. Let me know if you have any questions on the perineal massage. You typically want to start that between like 6 and 8 weeks before you are full term, maybe like 3 times a week. And yeah, if you like it, then keep doing it. You don't have to do it. Yeah, you don't have to do it. But if you were doing exercises before you got pregnant, those exercises, as long as the fall risk is not super high, those exercises are still safe to do. You want to keep your routine as like normal as possible, because it is important to maintain your muscle tone that you have built instead of just becoming sedentary, because that is even more shock on your body than just being pregnant. Yeah. So, last slide. This week we're going to, I know you don't have it yet, but I have both of them to give it to you, to read the hypnobirthing book. You can listen to the Rainbow Relaxation daily. That's really going to kick you off to such a good foundation. Listen to your affirmations, recite them to yourself in your practice or just daily. Really continue to politely decline to listen to the negative talk, or the birth stories that you really don't want to listen to. And then in addition, start to think about your birthing preferences. Prepare. I apologize, I paused it for a moment. My little one is really upset right now. But in addition, think about of course, those worries and those fears, so that we can be a little prepared for the fear release. And you'll have that worksheet as well. Talk about your provider, and if you really feel comfortable with them, or if they feel absolutely supportive of your birthing wishes and just your vision. Of course, within reason. Just as long as it's like safe, and you're not like, I want to be like suspended from the ceiling. Facial relaxation, the progressive relaxation, calm breath, surge breath, birth breath. Really practice practice that birth breath while you're going to the bathroom. And then partner read the rainbow relaxation, as well as the birth companion reading. Figure out that light touch massage, like the pressure that you might like. It's fun to figure that out. And then food and hydration, right? And play around with baby, play on your belly, right? But I will see you guys next class, and please do not hesitate to let me know if you have any questions or concerns. All right. Thank you so much. Bye.